Japan's unemployment rate rose for the first time in 4 months in July, while separate data showed the jobs to applications ratio had weakened. The jobless rate increased 2.7% from June, higher than the 2.5% economists had expected. Jobs offers to applicants ratio slipped for the sixth time this year to 1.29 in July, with job offers in the manufacturing sector falling 11.4%. While the data showed unemployment in Japan is still low by international standards, they suggest tightness in the labour market may have peaked for now. Let's get more on this now with financial analyst Francis Coppola. Francis, thank you for joining us this morning. First of all, how concerning are these figures for both the government and the Bank of Japan? Will they push them to put any measures in place?
I don't think so. I think what they're looking for is to see if the expectation among households and businesses that prices will always fall has shifted. Because if it has, then they can give up on the monetary easing, monetary and fiscal easing that they've been pursuing for a long time now, and that seems to be their main aim. The slight easing in the labour market might actually help that a bit. So I don't think that they're going to do much about this. They'll be watching it, obviously, but as their main aim has been to end deflation, a little bit of persistent inflation is actually, from their point of view, quite good news.
That brings me to my next question. Now, the government has said the country may be at an inflection point in its 25-year battle with deflation. Is the Japanese economy nearing an end to its prolonged stagnation?
Well, maybe. Like I said, it's about expectations. And we've had a quarter of a century of people expecting prices to be stable or fall. And what they want to do is shift that so people change to an expectation that prices will rise slightly all the time at the central bank's target rates. And if those expectations are shifting, if after 16 months of inflation, people are beginning to think, well, actually prices might go up and they might continue to go up a little bit all the time, then that will be good news in terms of ending the deflation. We should remember that deflation generally in most economies is not a good thing, although it sounds nice to have no price rises ever, because firms and people tend to suffer a little bit from what we call money illusion, where when firms think they're getting more money for their products, they're inclined to produce more. And where people think if prices are going to go up, they're likely to spend more now, then deflation can actually just mean a very stagnant economy. And that's what's happened to Japan over the last quarter century.
Right, Francis Coppola there. Thank you for your insight. Now to other top business stories from around the world. Toyota has suspended production at all 14 of its factories in Japan following a system malfunction. The world's biggest selling car maker said the glitch prevented its system from processing orders for components. Last year, Toyota had to halt all of its domestic factories after its supplier was hit by a cyber attack. The one-day stoppage had caused an output loss of around 13,000 cars. China is extending preferential income tax policies for foreign workers through the end of 2027. The country's finance ministry says it will continue to waive taxes on expatriates' benefits, including subsidies for housing, children's education, and language training. The move is seen as an encouraging signal to foreign businesses in the world's second largest economy. And workers at two large liquefied natural gas plants operated by Chevron in Australia will go on strike from September 7th. The decision follows weeks of negotiations with unions over pay and working conditions. The Wheatstone and Gorgon sites produce more than 5% of global LNG production capacity. The strike is likely to raise natural gas prices even higher. Almost 500 workers are currently employed at the two facilities.